What's going on, everybody? Josh McCarty from Bills Chat here with your training camp recap for Monday, July 29th. The Bills had their practice number 5. It was the first day in pads. You know how we do it here. We try to give you all the information you need from camp in less than 5 minutes. More thorough breakdowns. Just quickly, I want to recommend Joe Marino, Locked on Bills, does a fantastic job breaking down everything you need to know about training camp. The folks at Buffalo Plus, Dan Fates, Jenna Cottrell, Mike Catalana, also a great job. They have Brandon Bean coming up on their channel later this week as well. And our friends at Cover One, Eric Turner, and those guys all do a fantastic job as well, really diving more in. This is much more of a Cliff Notes. You only have 5 minutes to know what's going on. We're going to catch you up right away. Let's get into it. The big story of the day was the Bills were in pads for the first time. And really, the Bills today, I think, suffered their first setback as far as injuries go. Mike Edwards was announced by Sean McDermott as being week to week with a hamstring injury, and that has serious implications on the safety battle of the player that's going to be starting opposite of Taylor Rapp. So far, it really has been a 3-horse race between Damar Hamlin, Mike Edwards, and then second-round pick Cole Bishop. But Mike Edwards, who missed a lot of the spring, is now going to miss several weeks here in the summer. And it feels like he's going to have to play catch up, and almost very similar to what Terrell Bernard did last year in camp when he got hurt. And then the guys in front of him, Tyrell Dodson and AJ Klein, really struggled, almost like he has to hope that Damar Hamlin and Cole Bishop look unplayable. And then he just kind of gets the job by default. Because right now it's just hard to imagine a guy who's never played a down for the Bills in a regular season game, missing most of the spring, all of training camp, coming back and starting week 1 against Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. So tough situation for Mike Edwards. You know, it's disappointing for him, but what an opportunity for Damar Hamlin and what an opportunity for Cole Bishop. Cole Bishop has been getting some praise for flashing his athleticism. Damar Hamlin, just more of the consistent player. D. Delaney is not factored into that yet, but that is certainly the most intriguing position battle right now going on at Bills training camp. Another injury to note, Chase Claypool is day-to-day with a toe injury. Day-to-day, you don't worry too much about, but in Chase Claypool's case, he is really a bubble guy as it is. If the Bills were to keep 6 wide receivers, I think you could make an argument that he could be the 6th, but the lack of confidence in my voice should tell you that even missing a couple days could be a bridge too far for Chase Claypool, especially when you have someone like Tyrell Shavers starting to emerge from the bottom of the roster. We heard about him playing strong in the spring. He was a rookie last year, undrafted out of Alabama, came to the Bills and had a really strong offseason, good spring, worked in with the ones today. And boy, oh boy, did Sean McDermott glow about him in his press conference, talking about how consistent he is, how impressive he is for a young man. The door is wide open for someone like Tyrell Shavers to come in and make this roster. Another reason why that door is open is really the lack of anything from MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. You haven't seen him really work in too much with the ones, not at all on Monday. The folks on hand are saying there's just not much chemistry between him and Josh Allen. I put out a tweet from Bill's chat on Sunday saying that I still would predict at this point that Marquez Valdez-Scantling is going to make the roster. It's important to know his $2.5 million deal is fully guaranteed. He is, in my opinion, the only real take the top off the defense threat on this wide receiver group. And he's somebody that Josh Allen went out and wanted and recruited in here. So I think there's a lot working in his favor, but it's got to start clicking because he's running out of time. And there are some intriguing names behind him. We already mentioned Shavers. So we'll have to see what happens there. I do think that the top 4 are pretty well set. And then from there, it really is anybody's game as far as who's going to be on this Bills wide receiver group, and it's going to be fun to track. When the pads get on, you can really start diving into the trenches, and I think it was a Greg Rousseau day. He had his way with Spencer Brown, and Joe Marino mentioned in his podcast beat him 4 times, which is fantastic to see. Again, check out Joe Marino's podcast for a much more thorough breakdown than that. I'm not going to give you too much from that, but Greg Rousseau, huge season for him. He's finally eligible for a contract extension going into year 4. He plays a position where those guys on the edge get paid and paid in a big way. So if he can put together a double-digit sack season and stay healthy, Greg Rousseau will be well on his way to being a wealthy individual. Final note, Matt Milano, Taron Johnson, and Von Miller all had veteran rest days today. No concerns there. Interesting, though, that Dorian Williams was in place of Matt Milano after Balin Spector had been playing a lot of the snaps in place of Milano, and he would take drills off. And it sounds like Dorian Williams had kind of an up and down practice, but to this point, it has been Dorian Williams and Balin Spector as the second team linebackers, even though the Bills did go out this offseason and sign veterans in Deion Jones and Nicholas Morrow. We will see if that continues as camp goes on. The Bills are back on the field on Tuesday morning. The pads will be on again. Keep it locked here on Bills Chat. We'll keep you up to date on all Buffalo Bills happenings. I will talk to you next time on Bills Chat. Quick Chat.